What up, what up? This is Finance, Fitness, and Folk, a channel where we discuss finance, a little bit of fitness, and talk about some folk. So today's episode, I'm going to explain to you how to be more of a producer and less of a consumer. So in order for me to get my point across in this video, I think it's worth the time to define what a producer is and what a consumer is. So I did look up the definition. I didn't memorize it, so forgive me if I stumbled over some of the words of it, but what I saw was a producer is a person, a company, or a country that produces goods and I forget what the other word was, basically for sale. So they produce products for sale. That's what a producer is, right? A consumer is pretty much the opposite. It's a person that actually purchases the things that a producer sells to them. So what do I mean by being more of a producer and less of a consumer? Well, what I'm doing right now is a perfect example of what a producer does instead of a consumer. Now, I do consume a lot of YouTube. I've been doing it for a couple years now, trying to better myself. I call it YouTube University, even though I do have a bachelor's degree and I do have formal education, I do have certifications, things of that nature. But I have learned more about myself on YouTube than any classroom has ever taught me. And I decided a while back that I was going to be a producer on YouTube, along with being a consumer. Because I'm still a consumer of content on YouTube, but now I'm producing content. And I'm producing content because I want to get information out there to you guys, because I feel like that's what God is pushing me towards, is actually pushing out content to folks and have people aware of certain things, right? But I mean, could you find the same information I'm putting out there on YouTube or the internet? Absolutely you could. But there's no harm in pushing out information and regurgitating information that other folks have done. Because you may be hearing this stuff for the first time from me, even though you probably could have researched it yourself, but you stumbled across this video and you're seeing content that you may not be aware of, right? And that's what it's all about, helping folks. But the producer versus the consumer aspect is one of the things that you need to get inside your head when it comes to being successful and making money. Perfect example. So this video is being made March of 2023. Of course, early 2020, the pandemic happened, right? One of the worst pandemics in the last 100 years. And the government, now I'm talking about the US now, the government shut everything down, right? Everybody was on lockdown. You couldn't go to get anything to eat, in a normal sense, right? I mean, the grocery store was still open, but a lot of establishments were closed, like restaurants and other things, right? And so the economy was going to take a huge hit because a lot of businesses didn't make it past the pandemic. But the government started pushing out all this money, stimulus checks. I think they raised the unemployment. So you got unemployment, but you was getting more than, some folks were getting more than what they were getting paid when they was at a 9-to-5 job. And believe it or not, all these big corporations like Amazon, Walmart, Target, all these places had more revenue than they ever had in their existence in those years of the pandemic. Why? Because they were producers. Another thing, so I saw a video a while back from a person that I'm going to talk about in a little bit here on a video, down the road. Somebody I look at a lot, and I try to kind of emulate what he does. He said that I think he either read or saw somewhere where somebody was saying, if you take all the money in the world and you distribute it evenly with every single person on the planet. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about babies, old folks, everybody, right? Everybody gets the exact same amount because they distributed all the money in the world to every single individual person. Some kind of way, over a certain period of time, all that money is going to be filtered back to the folks that are rich, and it's going to be leaving the people that are poor still poor. Why is that? Because you got folks in this world that produce more than they consume. And I mean, that's just basic economics, right? If I'm producing something and it's a product that people want, then of course, more likely I'm gonna have some monetary gain from that. And the more I produce, the more money I make. If I'm consuming more than I'm producing, then that means I'm going broke. If I buy things that don't bring a return to me, then I'm not going to keep money, right? It's going to just keep flowing out of my pocket. So the rich, they buy assets. They buy things that actually are going to give them a return. Now, of course, I mean, there's certain things in life you have to buy, you have to consume. As far as being a consumer, I mean, like you have to pay for somewhere to live, because the return is that you're not in the street, you're not in the cold of the elements. You got to buy food, because you don't buy food, you're not going to make it, right? Humans need food in order to survive. If you're in somewhere to live, I mean, if you're the person paying rent, I mean, you got to pay for electricity, you got to pay for gas, water, because these are essential things that we need. The return is that there are things that help us survive, right? So that's the return on those things. But if we're constantly being a consumer of entertainment, the return is that I feel happy at the time. But you overindulge yourself, and then you're going to start going broke. So, you know, that's one of the things that I really want to make sure that folks are really understanding when it comes to being a producer and being a consumer. Like I said before, being a person that makes YouTube videos, I am being a producer right now. I am giving a product to folks that can benefit them. Hopefully it benefits folks, right? And as I keep doing this, the return that I'm getting back is that I have the satisfaction of knowing that somebody actually learned something new, learned something that they didn't know, and they can use that as leverage to better themselves. Like I said, I still consume content, but I want to be a person that produces content. And so if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to be somebody that works for themselves, then guess what? You're going to be a person that produces. You're not going to be a person that consumes that particular product. I mean, you may be a consumer, but for the most part, you made a conscious decision to be a producer of a certain product or a certain thing in order for you to be able to use that as leverage to have a monetary gain, right? So I want folks to really take that in and really ponder, what do you want to be? Do you want to be a producer? You want to be a consumer? You can be both. But if you're consuming more than you're producing, then what is the return? What are you gaining? Are you consuming things that are not giving you a return? Because if you're doing those things, and those things are basically making you broke, whether it be monetary gain or any other aspect in life, right? So once again, be a producer more than a consumer, all right? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'm on the road to 100. I haven't got the 20 subscribers yet, but I got a feeling it's going to come real soon here. Like I said, I'm going to keep knocking these videos out, pushing these videos out to give you leverage to better yourselves in life. Finance, fitness, and folk, Triple F. I'm gone.